dogs in shopping centres. Someone took their dog into the supermarket, and now dogs can and can't go places in Australia. There is like it's up to the shop basically. Bunnings allows dogs on lead, and I think got to sit in the trolley. Everywhere else, it's pretty much assistance dogs only, like qualified assistance dogs only. There are some places where it's relaxed a little for cafes, like coffee shops with outdoor seating, that sort of thing. And there is a couple of pet shops nearby that welcome dogs in on leash, sort of thing. So this, no, doesn't. What a rip-off. $3 for a pack of chips. No. Um, yeah, no, not permitted. Not an assistance dog, because your assistance dog won't be like that. Yeah, shouldn't be done. Should not be done. There we go. Now companion animals again have to meet specific guidelines, and there's specific rules about how you can define an assistance animal, what sort of questions you're allowed to ask, and you can actually ask them to leave. That is also permitted under the legislation. A person's need for an assistance dog does not override somebody's fear of dogs or something like that, or a business's ability to accept dogs within its premises for a hygiene or safety reasons. I mean, the dog should be trained to that standard to be an assistance dog, but there may be hygiene or safety reasons why they cannot permit the dog inside their premises. Like one place that they are excluded from, even under legislation, is commercial kitchens, for example. That is well and truly prevented. So, well, I think it was, well, based on the fact the dog was in the trolley like that, it was pretty clear that it was not an assistance dog. I don't think that's an assistance dog either. And well, it doesn't need that behaviour. I mean, the whole difficulty around assistance dogs is like in the lead up to COVID. No, yes, there was a sudden rush for people to get their dogs certified and things like that, and there was great variety in the standard of training. Quite often very poor, and there were plenty of times I was at the shops and saw two nominally assistance dogs barking at each other or reacting, and that should not be permitted. That shouldn't be allowed under the public access testing and the standard to which a dog is expected to behave in public under the legislation. Then there was, I guess, a bit of a push for random dogs to get to that standard. And even when you take an assistance dog into a low environment where there's other dogs, at the end of the day, it's still a dog. It's still going to do dog things from time to time. And if those other dogs are reacting towards it or causing agitation, the dog will do its best to stick to its training and ignore or let bygones be bygones. But if an uncontrolled dog's in its face, it's going to try and protect itself. And I've spoken to many assistance dog handlers over time, and a lot of them sadly have had to retire their dogs a lot earlier than they should have because of issues like this, because of conflict with other dogs in public where the assistance dog has basically come under threat, come under attack, and it doesn't help. Then there's also a lack of understanding in the broader public about the difference between an assistance dog and some random dog on a lead, or even a therapy dog, which is not a thing. Well, therapy dogs are a thing, but they have no protection under legislation. And so then there is also a misunderstanding of what sort of obligation you are under to allow an assistance dog into your premises, etc., what you can and can't ask, what you can and can't do. And so, yeah, they'll often, people with genuine need for their assistance dogs will often carry 2 or 3 cards identifying the legislation, identifying why the dog's with them, all these other bits and pieces, which is not required by legislation, but is sort of a defensive mechanism that these people have had to create for themselves in order to be able to go out and about and have the support of an animal, which is medically provided or medically required for them. And it's the behavior of others that leads to those drawbacks. And yeah, this happens quite often. Untrained, unqualified animals being brought into stores often sees the trained assistance dog leave, in part because they want to avoid escalation, but also because they're just told to leave because people can't recognise the difference. So yeah, I mean, interesting to see what sort of comments they might have. Yep, okay, stupid person. Fair enough. After the recent machete bans and stuff, people are saying, well, that's a good thing the dog's not carrying a machete. Uh, and yeah, it's just headachy. No, you see, not pregnancy. Testing. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Public access testing, which is a series of evaluations the dog undergoes to ensure it behaves appropriately in public. So there's public access, and yeah. So yep, the dog has to go through the produce section without reacting. Has to go past the deli. Has to ignore drop food. Has to um, walk on slack lead, has to handle lifts, escalators. Well, generally not escalators, they're deadly for dogs. Entering and exiting public transport, depending on what organisation is doing it and what purpose the dog's going to undertake. Moving through car parks, moving through narrow spaces in shops, highly trafficked areas, low trafficked areas, kids, adults, you name it, noises. There's quite a range of testing. Now, they're not to the standard of, say, a police working dog or something like that, but they are above general obedience level type tasks. I mean, it's not even obedience level, other than don't touch it. But even then, it's expected that a dog undergoing access testing like this should not require a command to ignore the food. It's expected to have been trained in, because the person who is using the dog as an assistance dog may not have the ability to command them like that. So, yeah. So, yeah. Kind of. That's an interesting one. Sidetrack to get upset at it all.